Welcome to your California coronavirus update here in California. Some shutdowns going on and some curfews going on. Before we get into this video, if you like my channel, please subscribe and ring the bell for future updates. Make sure and give this video a thumbs up. California stay-at-home order could drop this week. It could increase. They're going to find out here within a couple days. Total cases in California is pretty crazy amount. You got to remember there's a lot of people in the state of California. 1.25 million cases in California with 19,000 plus deaths. In the United States, over 13 million with 271,000 deaths. Like you see, that's quite a bit. But the death rate to percentage of cases is a lot lower than what it was last spring. Sobering projections shared by the governor on Monday indicated that without any change in behavior, the record number of Californians hospitalized due to COVID-19 could double or triple in just 1 month if the explosive strikes and hospitalizations continues. California could reach its intensive care bed capacity statewide by mid-December. All of these are just speculations. They're just going by the percentage of the daily cases and multiplying it. Doesn't mean it could happen. It doesn't mean it will happen. And be at 112% of the capacity by Christmas Eve. The Bay Area would reach its ICU capacity by the start of the new year, according to state projections. They did this back in last spring, and they were way wrong back then. We are looking at intensive care units until capacity as the primary trigger for deeper, more restrictive actions. Because when that capacity goes away, we know the quality of care sometimes takes a dip, and we see outcomes we don't want to see, said California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Notley during a news briefing on Monday. 8,000 coronavirus patients were hospitalized across California as of Sunday, the most of any point during the pandemic, according to the latest available data from the state. That number has more than doubled in the past 2 weeks. While deaths and coronavirus cases are up 50 and 75% respectively, the state's daily average of new cases climbed in an all-time high, nearly 14,000 per day over the past week, and the accumulation death toll surpassed 19,200 with an average of about 61 deaths per day over the past. According to the data supplied by this news organization, by Monday evening, counties had reported more than 20,000 cases, only the second time California has reported a total that high. Since the hospital reflect infections reported 2 to 3 weeks prior, the unprecedented recent surge in coronavirus cases combined with an anticipated additional increase following travel and gatherings during the Thanksgiving holiday have officials up and down the state sounding the alarm. If hospitalizations continue to spike, Newsom said he would take much more dramatic, arguably drastic action for counties in the state's most restrictive purple tier, which now includes 51 of the state's 58 counties. In every county in the Bay Area except Marin, the new restrictions, he said, would fall in line with the statewide stay-at-home order rolled out in mid-March, but with some modifications. He did not say what those modifications might entail. It probably won't be as strict, but folks, the only way you can stop this is by not traveling around so much, doing unnecessary travel. I understand family gatherings and everything. I'm all for that. But just traveling around just because you're bored, that's what spreads this here. It doesn't travel by itself across the state. This is a dynamic week. This is an incredible, important week in the history of the pandemic for this nation. Not just this state, Newsom said. I can assure you that we'll be coming out with some additional information, additional recommendations in the very near future. Talk about this week sometime. They might take down some other restrictions here. It won't be as bad as last year because everybody's got a mandatory wear mask, so sure you'll be able to get around more, but those jobs are just not going to be there no more. Los Angeles County's 3-week stay-at-home order went into effect Monday and is currently the strictest public health mandate in the state. It advises residents to stay home as much as possible. It shutters outdoor dining and prohibits people from gathering with others who aren't in their household. whether outdoors or indoors. Remember this part. Except for religious services or protests. You could go to church and meet up with a whole bunch of people. You could go out and protest with total strangers, and that would be perfectly fine. But don't think you're going to go bring over a whole bunch of your family members or just go visit with people down next door neighbors or whatever. That's not related. But you could go have protests, which are still permitted outside with certain public health measures in place, which is wear a mask. A new stay-at-home order, which could be unveiled as early as Tuesday or Wednesday, would mark the latest round of restrictions for Californians as coronavirus cases and hospitalizations surge amongst the pandemic's largest wave yet, here and across the country. Again, about those going to be able to go to protests in church and all that, I wasn't knocking, I was just saying it's weird how our laws work that you can't have a lot of people over to your house for the holidays, but you could go out to protest and different functions. A lot of people are just saying, it's not just me. In the past 2 weeks, Newsom has reverted almost all of California into the state's most restrictive tier of its reopening blueprint, forcing many businesses to shutter or move their operations outside, and added an overnight curfew for nearly all residents. And add an overnight curfew for almost all residents across the state to stop people from leaving their homes for non-essential work or gatherings late at night. Well, this concludes your California coronavirus update. As you can see, we're coming into a very hard week here. Very hard few more weeks here. They're going to probably put a lot more restrictions on the folks in California. I'm sure glad we live way up in far northern California in the country, away from most of the stuff that's going on. Again, if you like this channel, please subscribe and ring the bell for future updates on videos like this. And please give this video a thumbs up and share it out. And most of all, take care and be safe out there, folks.